Hey everybody, my name is Nick. This is my first video. As you can see, the name of my channel is Nick, the Fiber Guy. The reason I'm posting this video is this morning I was watching a bunch of other videos on YouTube about my condition, and I wanted to share my story with others in hopes of connecting with people or being able to help people that may not understand what they're going through, as well as use this as a personal diary for myself, since I probably won't be going back to work for at least 4 to 6 months, maybe up to a year, depending. I don't know. I just want to say that I am a 34-year-old Italian male. I live in the state of Pennsylvania. I live by myself. Let me just break down how cycle events happened that changed my life dramatically. I still kind of am, a very outgoing, outspoken person. I say what I feel, what I think. I really don't bite my tongue. I pride myself on being a real person, except in certain situations where maybe it might hurt somebody or something like that. Nonetheless, I've always, growing up, I had a great upbringing. I was raised by my mom. My stepdad didn't come into my life till I was in my mid-teens, and my grandmother, who passed when I was 20 from lung cancer, was a huge inspiration in my upbringing. I grew up a lot through people in my own neighborhood. Learned a lot. Wasn't easy at times, but hey, you live and you learn. I moved to Pennsylvania about 4 years ago with my former fiance, and we had this apartment, and September of 2012 we separated for good. It just was one of those situations where we just drifted apart. It was probably better that we lived together before we actually got married, because marriages are such failures these days. I read a report that 80% of married women and men both confess to committing adultery and cheating, which is an outrageous number. And it just scares you to think that you invest so much in somebody, and something like that could happen. Anyway, so that didn't work out, which kind of screwed me in the end, because I gave up my truck to be able to pay all the bills for us to live here. And she basically bought a new car and was tanning and going out to bars and stuff, and that's not really my thing on a regular basis. And the age difference was an issue, and needless to say, eventually it fell apart, and it didn't end on bad terms. It just ended, and we'll just leave it at that. But about a year ago, I was working. Did collections off and on, since I was like 19 years old. I'm 34, so I've been doing it for a long time. I was sitting at work, and I began to have an attack of some sort. I felt extreme chest pains, the inability to breathe. I felt walls closing in, darkness, cloudiness. Really didn't know how to handle it. Freaked out, went outside, tried to get some air, asked a buddy of mine if I could sit in his car and maybe try and lay back and relax. And needless to say, the chest pains were scaring me, and I'm not exactly a physical model of health. Not a very exercising person. I don't exercise, don't really do too many physical activities. So I was rushed to the emergency room, where they thought was possibly I had maybe a heart attack. They did EKGs, etc., heart tests. But in the end, what the doctor told me was that I had had a severe panic attack. At the time, a year ago, it was when my relationship really started to spiral down. I'm a bit obsessive compulsive. I tend to worry about things to an extreme extent, and I guess the job environment, which is stressful. It's a stressful job to do, especially in the economy, with a crumbling relationship, with also obsessively compulsive about other things that you shouldn't stress over, led to me developing this panic attack. The hospital misprescribed me some sleeping medication just to help me go to sleep, which wasn't the case because these attacks then continued, which I then began to see my doctor, who is Neil Cohen, who's a great doctor, um, who then put me on Xanax a year ago, which was 0.25 milligrams, which after a while it wore off, and I slowly am now up to 0.5 milligrams, which I take 4 a day, even though I'm only supposed to take 3 a day, which leads to problems because I run out a lot quicker than I should. And what triggers my panic attacks is the first thought of my throat swelling up. It feels like I can't swallow. Once I fear that if I swallow again, my throat's going to close up and I'm going to pass out, and it's just lightheaded. And basically, anybody who knows panic and anxiety attacks knows it's really not funny. Some people may think it's a joke or not a serious problem, but it really is. And going through 34 years of life to develop this disorder, really, I understand why, probably, looking back on the path of my life, how I may have developed it. But nonetheless, that happened. After my ex had moved out in September, I was alone. I live alone. I don't go out much. I'm not big into the bar scene. Most of my friends are married, have kids, are way too busy to hang out with somebody that doesn't have a car. And really, honestly, going through this trial the past couple months, it made me realize that I may not have as many good friends or as close friends as I thought I had. Only certain people really tend to care or from time to time ask me how I'm doing or try and talk to me. Anyway, we had separated in September. I was good for a while. Trying to get back into the dating thing. I was doing the online dating, and I've hung out with a numerous amount of chicks since I've been single. Have yet to find anyone that is either, I don't know, able to deal with my situation, or I'm able to really find an interest in them to continue seeing them. So I'm single, I don't drive, I don't work, and I suffer from panic anxiety disorder, as well as I am just recently diagnosed as one of the lucky people with fibromyalgia and rheumatoid arthritis. Let me explain this to you. About 2 months ago, I started to feel pain in my feet. It started on the left foot and then the right foot, and it was swollen and it hurt to walk. Thought it was something minor. I bought some orthopedic soles and new shoes, and hey, this is just something I'm just going through. It's growing pains, whatever. I don't exercise. I'm not very athletic, so as it is. So I thought that was going to be the cure of it, but it wasn't. It spread up through my ankles to my knees, and then to my hips, onward and so forth. But the weird thing was that as the pain spread, it wasn't just one leg or one arm. It was the same exact spot on both sides of my body. So being the weirdo that I am, I began to Google search and research things, and come to find out that basically it seems like I either have rheumatoid arthritis or fibromyalgia or Lyme disease or lupus or meningitis. There's a million things. I continued to go to work and deal with a lot of pain. People at work noticed I was in pain. I was missing work. It was extremely tough to get out of bed in the morning. It would take 10 minutes to put socks on. Couldn't do the normal things that a normal person could live and do. I knew what it felt like to be 90 years old in a 30-year-old's body. Basically couldn't raise my arms above shoulder. Couldn't hold things. Found myself dropping a lot of things. And when you drop something and you know how hard it is to get to the floor and get back up, it's very, very stressful, which also doesn't help when you have anxiety. So basically what happened is I went to my doctor. First, he explained the leg pain as non-exercise, non-body, usage, along with my anxiety disorder, and kind of dismissed it. But as the pain spread and it became worse, I couldn't even sit down. At night, I'm a person that likes to sleep on my side, curl up, and I couldn't even do that. It hurt to do that. It hurt to go to work and sit in my chair. So anybody who knows this pain knows exactly what I'm talking about. It feels like somebody physically beats you with a baseball bat in your joints, and you're sitting there feeling the bruises, but there's no bruises that show. I'm going to stop this video now and then restart a new video because I don't know how many minutes I'm in and I don't want it to run out. So I'll continue the story of how I developed finding out my condition in my next video. So please stay tuned if you care. Thank you for watching.